She smiled. "No, I've no real interest in getting intimate with a tiger." Miliani No laughed and looked back out over the water. Chloe followed her gaze. The night was still for a change. Normally the valley between the mountains south of Lahaina screamed with wind, day or night. The docks in that area were literally the windiest port in the world. But at the moment, all was oddly serenely quiet. The moon was full, and it cast a white, diamond-studded road across the depthless sea. It was something Chloe could stare at forever. She liked stars. Stars within reach were even better. A quick movement in the sand grabbed her attention, and she turned to see nothing. The plethora of crabs that littered the beach were perfectly camouflaged and completely still. They seemed to know when humans were looking. As soon as Chloe turned away, they would explode from their tiny holes or begin to scuttle once more. Chloe looked back out to sea, giving them the privacy they clearly desired. The tiger she'd referred to as a tiger shark. They ran patrol of the reefs when the water was murky or dark, and it wasn't a good idea to tempt fate with their near blindness. They could sense you. They could hear you. But they couldn't tell you were human and therefore unpalatable until they'd taken a taste of you. She had no intention of going into the water at night, but she could gaze at it until sunrise. "I can't believe you aren't staying," said Miliani, Chloe's lifelong and very best friend. "I finally get you here, and you know you love it, and you still won't stay." "I can't, Millie." "I can't," Chloe thought. "I can't put you in danger." Miliani had been her closest friend for years. They'd gone to college on the mainland together. Millie had always been very clear on the fact that she fully intended to return to Hawaii when she graduated, specifically Maui, which was where she'd been born. Now she worked 3 jobs to be able to continue living there, none of which had anything to do with her degree. Yet she was kind enough to offer Chloe a place to stay, a place to escape to. Chloe was not a poor girl, though. Living a very long time had allowed her to collect a fair amount of money, so she'd declined the offer and rented her own 1-bedroom apartment in Kihei. Maui was a welcome repast in a world of chaos for Chloe's Septeran. It was also a destination of escape. She'd come to Maui to get away from the same thing she'd been trying to escape her entire life. She was an Akyri, with a warlock hot on her tail. For many Akyri, feeding from a warlock was simply a way of life, no more inconveniencing than a mammal's need for oxygen. Akyri served warlocks, and in return, they were given sustenance. Most Akyri viewed it as a human would view working for an office job paycheck in order to buy groceries with it. But Chloe knew better. She recognized the evil inherent in a warlock's magic, and she wanted no part in it. This refusal to take part in the traditional, accepted mode of sustenance caused Chloe to be weaker than she could have been. It was a sacrifice she was willing to make, but one that made her susceptible to those who would use that weakness to manipulate her. Hence, she was always running, always hiding. To make matters more complicated, Chloe Septeran was not like other Akyri. The origin of the Akyri was a little-known fact, and one carefully guarded by her kind. They were known as demons, among other supernatural beings, but nothing could have been further from the truth. Akyri were indeed composed of darkness, but not a darkness that came from anything as simply ridiculous as a fiery locale under the Earth's crust. Akyri were literally the coalescence of the untamable, intangible substances of the universe. They were the timeless centers of black holes, the empty spaces that nonetheless showed up on radars as pulsating entities. They were the unexplainables. They were dark matter. This is where Akyri originally came from. Of course, Akyri could give birth to more Akyri by mating. This was fortunate for them since, contrary to appearances, Akyri did grow old and die. Their outer bodies never aged, but one day